3A. Listening and speaking.
So basically, Michael, healthy body, healthy mind. If you have good sleep, diet and exercise habits, your memory will work well too.
Exactly.
And what about using mnemonics?
That's the interesting part. Let's get to the actual memory techniques that help you remember more for longer. So, number 1 is chunking, meaning organizing information into groups. It's what you do, for example, when you learn a phone number in groups of 2 or 3 digits, or when you group new vocabulary in a foreign language according to the topic. What you want to do is break down the amount of information you have into smaller, more manageable pieces that are related or similar in some way.
Nice idea. Anything else?
Creating acronyms. Let's say you want to remember a group of words. You take the first letter of each word and use them to create a new word. So now all you have to remember is that one word. Or you can create an acrostic, which follows the same idea, but instead of creating a new word, you create a sentence. So, imagine wanting to remember all 8 planets in our solar system. Then you could use the sentence, "My very educated mother just served us noodles." Think about that. If you look at all the first letters in the sentence, they correspond to the first letters of the planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. My very educated mother just served us noodles. Another related mnemonic is rhyming. Sharon, when you were at school, how were you taught to remember the number of days in each month?
With a rhyme. 30 days has September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31, except February, it's a different one. It has 28 days clear and 29 each leap year.
I was taught the same one. So, just as when you put information into music, it's easy to remember, rhyming is a powerful tool because you organize the information and repeat it, but add a sort of rhythm or beat to it, which makes it stick better in the mind.
What your advice is then is to learn new information in a song.
Correct. Now, the third technique I wanted to mention is making associations. This means that you connect the information you want to remember to an image or sound or movement. Think, for example, how you connect certain food smells with the image of a younger you in the kitchen, watching your mum cook. Or think about how a specific song can remind you of a person or an event. The idea is that you connect the information to an image that is very alive, colorful, perhaps funny, or absolutely ridiculous. For instance, many of us have a problem remembering names of people we have just met. So, say I've just met a girl named Bridget. Now, what I'll do is I'll connect her to the word bridge. Perhaps in my mind I'll put one of my favorite types of bridges, an old stone village bridge on the top of Bridget's head like a crown. From now on, every time I see this face, I will imagine it with a bridge on top, and that will remind me that her name is Bridget.
I can think of at least 4 or 5 names I'd like to use that with. So you said earlier you had a total of 4 techniques you were going to tell us about.
Yep, the last one is spaced repetition. We all know how important repetition is. As the saying goes, repetition is the mother of all learning. And just as you don't build a brick wall in one go, but you wait for the mortar between the bricks to dry before adding more, there needs to be space between each repetition session. Let me give you a personal example. At the moment, I'm learning Spanish, and I use the lightness system to organize myself. Basically, what I do is keep 5 boxes with flashcards in them. On each flashcard, I've written information I need to do a revision of, and each box therein is labeled with a different time period. So, for example, once a day, once a week, once a month. Every time I revise a card from the once a day box, and I can remember it well, I place it into the next box, the once-a-week box. That means that I don't need to revise it again until a week later. That continues to happen until I end up reminding myself of things once every 6 months, or just before an exam. In this way, I keep regularly revising things I am weak at. And as I learn more new things, I add new flashcards to the first box.
Okay, that is something I hadn't heard of before, but it sounds really useful. So, if you want to